So for this week we have another assignment, and I'm going to be answering questions or doing some tasks on the basis of this week's rubrics. So the first task for rubric says we need to verify that our 10 gig disk is mounted on data 1. How do we do that? We use this command. We use a df-h, and then we specify our directory, which is data 1. So df-h space / data 1. Okay, so you can see data 1 is mounted on our 10 gig. So it also says we need to do the same thing for our extra 1 gig that we created, right? So we want to do the same df-h space, and then we want to specify the directory, which is /opt/backup. You see the same thing here, that opt is mounted on our 1 gig, which is 960 megabyte. Now the next part there is to confirm that both of these, our XVDG and our XVDF, are XFS file format system. How do we do that? We want to issue the command lsblk, and then we use the -f and hit enter. So you can see here our XVDG is XFS and our XVDF is XFS. Now, to simplify that, let me just use the lsblk, leaving out the -f command, and see this. So you can see that this is our 10 gig, right? It's mounted here, and you can see this is it, right? XVDF. You can see XVDF is XFS, and you can see XVDG mounted here. This is our 1 gig, and here we have it, XVDG is XFS. So this is it for the task as the first part of our rubrics. Now we move to the second part, which has to do with answering some questions. So our first question wants us to display the mounted point for our XVDG. For this XVDG, what's the mounted point? Now we can issue this command to display the mounted point. So we want to use similar command lsblk, and then we want to do the /div/ we want to bring this in. So it's xvdg, and then hit enter. So you can see the mounted point here is opt, right? So opt is the mounted point for XVDG. Now the next question, it just wants us to show the command that we can use to mount a partition. So what's that command? So it's just very simple. All you need to do is to just say, you want to say sudo, and then you want to say umount. So sudo umount, then you can now specify the partition. It could be, you could say, let's say for example we want to do data, so we should say /data1, right? And then we hit. And now note here that here it is mounted here, right? So let's say data1, enter. Now, let's see what happens. We want to issue the ls blk command, hit it. So you can see our 10 gig disk is no longer mounted here, right? It's not mounted here. It is no longer there. Here, it was here, it's no longer there because we've unmounted. So we're just going to mount it back, and just for clarity, this was not required for us, but just to show it, we want to use a sudo. We're going to mount it back, and we'll unt. We want to mount. We want to say div /div, and then we'll say /. So it was at what? It was at xvdf. So it's xvdf, right? So xvdf, and then we want to specify the trade data one. This is partition. We want to hit enter. So if we issue the lsblk command again, so here we have it. It's back here. So our last question is, how do we change our partition label? We're going to be looking at that. So to do that, we want to clear our screen. Clear. Okay. So this is a command we're going to issue. So we want to change our drive label. So let's issue this command and let's see the label on our data one, right? So let's say sudo, and let's say blkid, this command. So we can see here, this is label. This is our 10 gig data is already labeled, and here's our 1 gig. You can see it has no label. So we want to issue this command to label it. So we want to say sudo. We want to say since it's sfs format underscore admin, and then we want to issue the dash cap l command, and then we want to give it a label name. We want to say we want to name it drive. Name it backup drive. I want to specify directory. I want to say /pt /bsc backup, right? Sorry, okay. So we made a little mistake. So let's do this, the remove backup. Save this. So it has been label backup. Now let's view it as a sudo. Let's say blkid, and here we have it. So we can see that it's labeled this. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks a lot.